Welcome back to the channel, guys, for another Thailand story. This one was sent in by a man that has been to Thailand many times and said that he will never ever fall for a bar girl. Until he actually does. So let's jump into this story. Hi, I thought I would share my story. A story from a guy that thought he was totally immune to catching feelings in Thailand. This was my 12th time in Thailand over the last decade. Yes, I know, it sounds a little crazy, but Thailand's just got this pull on me. I am one of those guys that travelled there once and then it was game over. I needed more. It's called the Land of Smiles for a reason, and I couldn't resist coming back again and again. There's just something about the place that gets under your skin. Everyone is different and likes Thailand for all different reasons. I admit, I love Thailand because of the ladies and the nightlife. Over the years, I've watched a lot of guys fall for bar girls, and I mean a lot. It almost seems like a rite of passage for some of them, but not me. I thought I was immune to all of that. I thought I had it all figured out. You know, the whole I'm not falling for it thing. I told myself that I was different. I wasn't like the other guys. I knew exactly how the game was played. I had seen it all before, and I wasn't going to be fooled. I mean, come on, I was a realist, a cynic really. So there was no way I'd ever fall for a bar girl. I had made up my mind about it long ago. It just wasn't going to happen. I did have a few rules. Things that I knew would keep me from ever getting involved with a bar girl. Simple stuff, like never ever take one to the islands. I told myself I wasn't the type to get wrapped up in the whole fantasy. And another rule, never ever spend more than 6 nights with the same girl. I kept telling myself it was all about the experience, the place, the adventures. It was never about just one girl. I looked at guys who got too close to bar girls, who got lost in the whole thing, and I'd shake my head. I felt kind of smug actually. Like, look at these guys falling for that nonsense. I was above all of that. I was too smart, too cynical to fall for any of it. I had it all figured out. But of course, I'm sure you can see where this is going. The first time I met her, I had no idea that it would end up being anything more than just a one-off experience. It was memorable, sure, but no way was I thinking it was the beginning of some long-distance love story. So my friend and I had just arrived in Bangkok, feeling like complete rookies because it had been a while. And trust me, we'd been there more than a few times before, but this time, it just felt different. Bangkok's chaos hit us like a train. It's just non-stop madness. We needed to find our bearings and find them fast. So, we made a beeline for our usual spot in Soy Cowboy. It had been a year since we'd last been there, and honestly, things had changed a lot. Prices were higher, the quality of people were lower, and the tourists had become darker. A lot of people we used to know weren't around anymore, and the place felt a bit different. But after a little while, some familiar faces started popping up. And, well, what do you know? They were quick to grab us for a round of drinks. It's like they had been waiting for us, ready to rinse us dry. Next thing I know, I'm being waved over to a chair right next to the stage. Now, I'm just sitting there, trying to take it all in, when out of nowhere, this girl, who, let's be real, was probably about a foot shorter than I am, grabs my ears like they were the most interesting thing in the room, and she starts doing something with them. Well, let's just say she got a little too friendly, and that, my friends, is how I met Sun. She was very fun to be around, very hyperactive, touchy, and clearly was very good at her job. We spent about an hour of her rinsing me for lady drinks, chatting and having a whole lot of fun. The rest of the night after that, yeah, it's kind of a blur. One minute I'm sitting there trying to process what is happening and why I'm feeling this way, and the next, I'm on the street with her trying to make it back to the hotel. But there's a little hiccup. Sun had gone a bit too hard on the drinks, and so did I. So there I am, looking like a total mess, trying and failing to keep my dignity while trying to walk this girl back to the hotel. Not exactly the most graceful moment of my life, but hey, I did what I had to do. We finally made it back to the hotel, but we were both worse for wear. I think I nodded off as soon as my head hit the pillow. After the night I had with Sun, I definitely got a very interesting wake-up call the next morning. I'm not going to lie, it wasn't what I expected, but in a strange way, it was kind of fun. I thought that was it. We had a fun night together, she leaves, and maybe I'll see her again if I'm ever around Soy Cowboy. That's how it normally goes. However, the moment I thought I was going to get some peace and quiet, the questions started rolling in. First, she asked, "We go up to the pool?" And then, without missing a beat, "You bar find me tonight?" In that instant, my brain screamed, "Oh, this one's a clinger." It was a light bulb moment. I realized I'd somehow found myself in the company of someone who wasn't just there for a one-off. I am not used to this. I'm not used to any sort of commitment, and I certainly was not in Thailand to spend my whole time with a girl I had just met. I am there to play the field, have fun and go home, like I had done many times before. Simple. So, to get out of the situation without making things too awkward, my friend and I cooked up a little story. That is, when he finally arose and kicked out his bar fine from the night before. We told Sun that we had a friend named Ricky over on Soy 22 and that we was planning to visit him. I told her, "Hey, I'll come by the bar later, okay?" I wasn't too worried, since I'd already paid the bar fine and it was only the second night. Honestly, I figured if I didn't show up again that evening, it wouldn't be the end of the world. Without sounding like a total douchebag, I have told many girls I will come back to see them and never did, so I did not really plan on going back. But you know how it goes. Just when you think you've escaped, you find yourself back in the thick of things. Once again, we ended up in Nana Plaza, bouncing from bar to bar. But like I said, it was only our second night in town, and when you're trying to adjust to a new place, it's tough to really let your guard down and relax. So what do? We end up back at our safe spot, our favourite bar in Soy Cowboy, the one where Sun works. You can always count on it to be the place where you can just zone out and forget about the rest of the world for a while. But that was the problem. I had been with a girl from our safe spot, so it wasn't exactly our safe spot anymore. We walked in and there she was, waiting for me, already changed and looking like she had been waiting forever. As soon as I walked in, she flashed that big, bright smile of hers. It could melt even the coldest of hearts. I knew at that point that I felt something towards her. I just wasn't exactly sure what it was. We started talking right away, laughing, joking, just like we had known each other for ages. You know that feeling when you just get along with someone, like when you meet a new friend and they are easy to click with. It was like that. Her energy was infectious, and before I knew it, I found myself thinking, let's just go for it. I normally try to avoid spending more time with the girls I meet, but I had already paid the bar fine, right? Might as well spend another night with her. It wasn't like I was planning to get super serious or anything. I wasn't about to take her to the islands or anything wild like that. This was just another night. Nothing more, nothing less. But by the third night, things took a turn. I got hit with a fever, and let me tell you, I felt awful. I could barely move. The kind of sick where you just want to curl up in bed and do absolutely nothing. But to my surprise, Nurse Sun was there, right by my side, taking care of me. She ran to the pharmacy and 7-Eleven like it was nothing, bringing me medicine and anything else I needed. Honestly, I didn't expect it, but she was taking better care of me than I could ever have imagined. The next day, I woke up feeling groggy, but much better, only to find her already awake, lying by my side with a smile on her face. She was laughing, teasing me about how cute I looked when I was sleeping. But honestly, I didn't even hear her. All I could do was stare at her. I had a feeling this would be my last day with her, and I couldn't shake the bittersweet feeling that I felt. I really enjoyed spending time with her, even if I was sick, so deep down inside, I kind of wanted it to carry on. She had been a breath of fresh air in this chaotic place, the funniest, most confident and free-spirited woman I'd ever met. Saying goodbye to her wasn't going to be easy. And just when I thought I was totally stuck, my friend came through with a lifeline. He was planning to take his own girl from the bar down to the islands, Koh Samui to be exact, and he offered to lend me the money to fly Sun out there too. I couldn't believe it. Suddenly, the impossible felt possible. I thought I was going to be saying goodbye to this woman and carry on with my trip. And now, I'm thinking about taking her on vacation. I quickly worked out a plan with Sun, and just like that, it was on. In just a few minutes, I went from feeling like I was in over my head to being absolutely pumped. But wait, there was a catch. I was breaking all of my own rules. I was actually going to take her to the islands, and on top of that, I was about to spend more than 6 nights with her. I was about to turn into one of these guys that I would laugh at for catching feelings in Thailand, one of those men that I used to look down on. This was exactly what I said I wouldn't do. But in that moment, I told myself, it'll be fine, right? The islands were a total dream come true. But here's the thing, it was even better because it was real. Everything just clicked. We spent our days lounging by the pool, soaking up the sun, or chilling on the beach. And as the sun set, and I mean the sun as in the big orange thing in the sky, not the Thai girl, we'd head over to our favourite bar by the shore. It was like something out of a movie. And when we'd head back to the room, well, let's just say unbelievable doesn't even begin to cover it. There was this wave of pure happiness that washed over me. Everything felt perfect, like I was exactly where I needed to be. There were so many small moments with Sun. that still bring me a smile to my face whenever I think about them. Nothing huge, just little things that made the whole experience so much more memorable. Like the time she danced around the pool completely carefree while a tropical thunderstorm poured down on us, just twirling and laughing as the rain came down in sheets. Really, if I've ever been happier, I'm struggling to think of a time that compares. On the second to last night in Koh Samui, I remember her falling asleep beside me while we were watching a movie. She had curled up on the bed, completely out of it, and I just watched her for a moment. This time, this whole trip had been so perfect, but the thing that hit me the hardest was that it was almost over. I had never planned for my trip to go this way. I never planned on having feelings for anyone. That's just not me. But even though I had been to Thailand many times before and had a lot of fun, this was still the best trip because of Sun. I pushed the sadness aside though. I reminded myself that I still had time with her. We weren't done yet. We had a few more days left to make the most of it. So we flew back to Bangkok, and I knew we had 2 more nights there before everything wrapped up. If I would have caught a flight to London right after that, I think I'd be picking up the pieces of my heart now. But back in Bangkok, the reality of the situation hit me. My cash was running low, and Sun knew it. Without missing a beat, she disappeared for a while, telling me she needed to head back to the bar to make some money, since I didn't have enough to cover things anymore. This is all just work to her at the end of the day, and if she wasn't getting money from me, then she would have to go back to work. I couldn't really blame her, but it still hurt a little. Thankfully, my friend came through for me again, along with a few other friends back home who pitched in. I do have money, by the way, but I did not bring my card because I did not want to go over the top with spending. I took as much as I thought I would need to Thailand. Turns out, I did not really consider that I might meet someone and end up going to Koh Samui with them. So I thought I was good again and thought I had enough to ride out the last couple of days. That, however, was before I made the mistake of walking into the bar where she worked. In no time, they managed to drain whatever I had left. I was acting stupid, thinking I'm leaving soon, so I'll treat the girls to lady drinks, not realizing I was low on borrowed funds. By the time the last night rolled around, it wasn't anything like I had imagined. There was no big grand finale, no fancy send-off, and I had no money left at all. Sun and I just stayed in the room, flipping through TV channels, and that was about it. I felt a bit bad that I could not thank her for the time like I wanted to. I wanted to at least spoil her a bit more. I had originally planned to give her this incredible final night, something special, you know. But after the bar bills, the phone I bought her, and the perfume, don't even get me started on that, there was no way I could make that happen. It was a reality check, and I had to face it. Since I'd left my credit card at home, I had no access to any more money, which meant my options were pretty much zero. If I had brought my credit card with me, I honestly have no idea how much more I would have ended up spending. Would it have been 50,000 baht? Maybe even 100,000 baht? I could have easily ended up floating on cloud 9, completely head over heels, and at the same time, deeply in debt. That said, I'm not bitter about any of it. Not at all. I had an absolutely amazing time. I paid for what I got, and every penny was worth it. I probably got way more out of it than I could have realistically afforded, but looking back, I wouldn't change a thing. Not in my wildest thoughts would I ever think that I would spend my whole Thailand trip with just one girl. I am a happy-go-lucky type of person. Never really wanted to settle down. It never even crossed my mind. Maybe I'm maturing. Better late than never, I guess. So the whole girlfriend experience, it was incredible. I'd want to have that experience every time I go to Thailand now. It was full of pure joy, unforgettable moments, and a level of connection that I hadn't expected. I don't think I'll ever go back to doing the whole bar hopping thing and meeting different people every night. Yes, it's fun, but nowhere near as fun as having a holiday girlfriend. That's my opinion anyway. It wasn't just about the fun. It was something deeper, something I'll always carry with me. I know that sounds soppy and foolish of me, but make no mistake, I know 100% it's work for them and business. I think once you get that in your head, that it's nothing more than a holiday girlfriend, then you will be fine and have fun. Of course, you get back home and it's like a punch in the gut when you see all the miserable faces around you. People always have something to say, trying to bring you down, passing judgment, but that's on them. As far as I'm concerned, I don't regret a single moment. It's all about the girlfriend experience, and the kind of experience you can't find just anywhere. We are still in touch, and honestly, every time she calls me, it genuinely brightens up my day. There's just something about hearing her voice that makes everything feel a little bit better. I'm not naive, and she knows that as well. That's probably why she doesn't try to get me to send money or anything. I know nothing can come from us, but keeping in contact with each other is something I'm happy we have done. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that next time I'm in Thailand, Sun will be around so I can pick up right where we left off and continue the holiday girlfriend with her. But hey, if she's not around, that's cool too. Bangkok is my oyster. I know there are plenty of other people out there, and I'm sure I'll have an equally great experience with someone else. It doesn't feel like it right now, but I'm pretty sure the next time I head back, I'll find another unforgettable holiday girlfriend experience to dive into. You never know what's around the corner.